do very good in it because knows a lot about code. Well, not exactly. Like, okay, yeah. There are many types of like students like us. Or yeah. So in this case, okay, first, oh boy, my throat is dry. I'm gonna hydrate myself first. Oh boy. Okay, there we go. So, knowing how to code, not exactly almost something like immediately know what feature of that language to use immediately. Like, okay, like I have to admit, like for example, a while ago, guess what? I was using ChatGPT. Why I was using ChatGPT? In order to figure it out how to like change the color of a text. Now what ChatGPT gave me is, alright, it gave me this little segment over here so that we know, hey, every time when the console sees this thing, it knows that, alright, time to change the color, whatever, right? So I was like thinking, okay, yeah, I'm not gonna like memorize all of these weird number thingies and all that stuff. So, what a raw coder would do would be something like, for that specific case, like, for example, doing a cout whatever, it would just enter the code, like /033, and then open bracket, say this, and then keep on moving on, and then just copy and paste all over the place, right? But what I would do, and what I've done, is if we go to forward functions, which is, oh boy, a monster. At this point, we can go like forward string shorthand. Over here you can see, hey, we have color text, we have color background. So everything over here, we have taken care all the colors we can have, and all you need to remember is the representation of the colors you want. In this case, D for default, K for black, R for red, G for green, and all the way until white. Same thing for color background as well. So I call that secondary coding in this case. Like primary coding is like looking at a specific raw question and then figure it out the raw method to do it. Secondary coding is what I would say something like, how can you make this thing easier to access? However, there are more layers upon this thing. Like for example, it's almost something like, can you come up with an algorithm or a solution in order to fix some certain problem? Like for example, one classic example is, okay, if you know data structure, then that's good. Binary tree, right? Binary tree. So the main idea would be something like, let's just say you want to print everything, right? How are you going to do it? Well, the classical way, what they would tell you, right, is you do this recursively. However, recursion has its own risk. One classical example of recursion is just Stack Overflow. And the moment when you run into Stack Overflow, the whole program will just halt, the whole program will just go kaput and will not work. So to some extent is dangerous. So a new question would be something like, can you figure it out a new way to print the whole tree without using recursion? And actually, yes, you can. The way you would do it is with a counter. However, this is both good and bad at the same time. If your data structure allows you to have an extra small part, then yeah. So the way to do it is, I would call it the flag. So a flag can be an integer whatsoever. For now, all of them will have a flag 0. Right? And then you start from here. So when you see something is 0, then you know, okay, this one is not done yet. The left side is not done yet, so I'll go left. Same thing over here, same thing over here, but over here you say something like, okay, at this point it has no children whatsoever, so I'll print you. There we go. Print that thing. What it does is it updates the counter. Now look at the whole thing again. When I'm looking at the counter and the counter is 1, it means that, alright, time to look on the right hand side. The problem is there is no right hand side for me to look at. Okay, then I'm going to update my counter to something else, let's say 2. And then when you look at the counter again and you know it's 2, then you know, okay, right hand side is done. Back up. So come back up over here. And then you just use the counter to like update for that certain node if you have already taken care of the left side, the right side, and printing itself and all that thing. So in this case, you can use a counter. So I would say that's a this is what I would call the 3rd level of coding, which is able to solve a certain problem. And coding is not just like knowing the exact syntax, because after all, if a language is popular enough, syntax is all over the place, and then you just need to search it up, and then you're good. So yeah, we have that.